Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Flight Sim world. This is Viperstrike 95 Flight Sim. And today we're back with another Around the World stream. Today we're doing day number 12 of the journey. That's right, we're back at Antigua, where we left off on Sunday. And today we're here to do two more countries on today's trip we're going to check off. The first country is going to be Dominica. And then finally, after our stop in Dominica, we're going to be going over to St. Lucia and explore the island of St. Lucia. So, guys, I hope you're all doing well here today. It is the start of the weekend. I hope everyone's got a great start to the weekend. So, I hope you're all doing well. So let's go over the flight plan for today's stream. So here's today's flight plan. Nice and big for you guys. Booyah! We're going to start here at Victor, VC Bird International, fly our way out of Antigua. We'll be flying over Guadalupe. I'll briefly mention about Guadalupe, but we'll not be covering it just because it's not a sovereign nation. It's part of France. Then we make our way to our first stop here at Melville Hall. First stop, and then afterwards we'll explore the rest of Dominica. We'll be exploring some of Dominica's absolutely beautiful landmarks, mainly the big one being Trafalgar Falls, as well as the Mortros Pitons National Park. And a brief visit over the capital city of Roseau. Then once we go here, we're going to make our way over, we're going to fly over a bit of Martinique, another place I'll be visiting next year in Martinique. And then finally, we'll make our way over to St. Lucia. We'll make our way through the entire island, including the largest city of Castries. And then make our way down through the mountainous islands. And then, of course, make our way to one of St. Lucia's most famous natural landmarks, the Gros Pitons, two pitons that make a part of St. Lucia, before making our final landing at Hewanora International Airport, Tango Lima, Papa Lima. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up. That is gonna be today's flight plan, everyone. Should be a stunning flight. Before we get started, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have more Calvo Cody. Good to see you. And Angry One Horn just raided with 3 people just as we get ready to start the stream. Good to see you, Angry One Horn viewers. We're just getting started here at the stream, so you guys came in a good time. Welcome on in, Angry One Horn. I hope you had an amazing stream. If you guys don't know about Angry One Horn, he is an awesome individual in the community. He's done all sorts of series here on Twitch, including his journey on the USS Nimitz, one of them. So the plane we're going to be taking today is a plane that I've been very familiar with. It's been one of my longtime favorite planes in the sim. I haven't taken her out in a long time. Yes, it is the Junkers J52. Oh my, oh, yeah, CTD? That's not good. Oh, that's not good. But thank you so much for the raid, though. Yes, this is the Junkers J52. This was the original MSFS local legend that was released back in 2021. But the J52 is an absolutely iconic plane of the pre-war era. It had a very long history, built by the Junkers Company in 1932, which is the 3-engine version. It was a very successful plane, not only for the airliners, but it was also used extensively during the Second World War for the Luftwaffe as their primary military transport. Very capable plane. And it turns out this plane actually has had an extremely long history, even after the war. The J-52s were still flown in Brazil, Switzerland, the Spanish, and some of them were even used in Papua New Guinea, of all places. Yes, Papua New Guinea, as crazy as that sounds. But they're most well known for their duraluminum skin, which was revolutionary at the time. And this 3-engined Behemoth was powered by 3 BMW 132A engines with 725 horsepower. They can cruise at a max cruise speed of 133 knots with a range of 530 nautical miles and a servicing of 19,000 feet. Very capable plane. He carried up to 17 passengers. Very capable plane. If you know anything about the Junkers, it's an insanely capable plane. In fact, the J-52 is such an iconic plane that that Junkers is even going to bring it back. That's right, they're going to bring this back in 2025. The Junkers J-52. Oh yes, yeah, I know you're familiar with this plane, Angry. You took that thing around the world. I remember. I remember when you did that, Angry. You took the Junkers J-52 around the world. But yeah, and of course, I took this plane on my Berlin-Beijing trip as well back in 2022. From Berlin, Tempelhof, all the way over to Beijing, China at ZBNY. Went through all of Russia on this. So I made plenty of memories with this plane. I still love it. Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun. I still love Youngers, and like I said, despite being up there for almost 3 years now, I think this plane is aged really well. So let's go over to her cockpit. Of course, I think I probably remember how to work this G52. I think I know how to work. On. I think I remember how to work this thing. Oh yeah, it's a great plane. I really recommend for a lot of the pilots. Yeah, it's docile, it's smooth. Yeah, pretty smooth plane. There's plenty of things to do here. Yeah, there. Now the plane I'm taking today is the 1939 version. If you guys want to know about this J-52 I'm flying today, this is the 1939 version of the plane. It comes in the standard German sort of thing. It comes with the standard German language. So some of these are in the authentic German language where this thing was produced back in the old days. However, there are 3 other versions of the Junkers you can fly in the sim. You have the floats you have the Junkers J-52 floats. You have the Junker J-52 with skis, and the most interesting one is a retrofitted Ju-52 with modern systems and stuff to replace the old German equipment that was used back in the old days when this thing was first built. But for me, I still like flying the good old German version. Yeah, it's good to be back in this bird again. It's good to be back in this Junkers J52 once again. It's been too long since I've flown her. Let's go. 76 and oh my gosh. Yeah, this thing was, yeah, she's a lot faster now than I remember her being. Like, they must have did something with the update. She's a lot faster than she should. Finally, I can also do. There's also something really cool about the Junkers that a lot of people don't know. And that's the J52 does have its own autopilot. Or more specifically, it has a gyropilot, actually. We're going to go fly into a 180-degree heading. I mean, I could fly her without the gyropilot. Now, obviously, the thing with the J52 gyropilot is it only keeps to your heading. It doesn't keep your it doesn't keep to anything else. However, the nice thing about the J52 gyropilot is this plane's super stable to fly. Here we go. Our altitude today will be at 4,500 feet. That is going to be, the first leg is going to be around 1,500 feet. Yeah, I can't believe how fast she goes. I forgot how fast this Junkers is actually going to go. She's faster than I remember her being, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the first country we'll be checking out today, and that is the country of Dominica. Will be our first nation we'll be checking out here today in the stream, is the little country of Dominica. Dominica is part of the Caribbean. It's located in the Windward Islands in the Lesser Antilles. Its closest neighbors are the constituent French territories of Guadeloupe and Martinique. It comprises a land area of 290 square miles, and its highest point is 4,700 feet above sea level, with a population of 71,000 people. It's actually the youngest island in the island chain, and it's still being formed by geothermal volcanic activity, as it's home to the world's second largest hot spring, Boiling Lake. It's also got lush mountainous rainforests and home to many rare plant, animal, and bird species. And you can even find its national bird, the imperial Amazon parrot, only in the island. Oh, very cool country. Definitely worth checking out. The history of Dominica should take us back to the pre-colonial days. Before Europeans came around, the dominant inhabitants were the island Carib people, who were thought to driven out the Arawak population. But the first European to spot the island was Christopher Columbus in 1493, and because he saw it on a Sunday, Columbus named the island Dominica, which is Latin for Sunday, which is still the name here today. But the European explorers did settle here. However, the first major successful colony was the French in 1632. Then after the French, it was also the English as well in 1660. Um, and it traded for between Dominica and St. Vincent. But ultimately, the French were the first ones to put permanent settlements, as woodcutters from Martinique and Guadeloupe set up timber camps. And eventually, a fort was built in Roseau in 1699, which ended up being the largest city here. During the 60s War in 1761, um, the 7 Years' War in Europe happened, and the British expedition went into Dominica, with them conquering the island. And after France lost the war, Dominica was ceded over to Great Britain during the Treaty of Paris. As well. The French did recapture Dominica during their invasion during the American Revolution, though it was given back to the British afterwards. Then after all this, the British then used Dominica as a staging point for the North Atlantic slave trade, which slaves were imported in sold as labor. However, with slavery being abolished in 1833, emancipation came with the enfranchisement, and many slaves that were in the French islands fled to Dominica. And as a result, Dominica became the first colony in the British West Indies to have a legislature by ethnic African majority. And during the 20th century, many Dominicans were volunteered to fight in Europe for the British Empire. And after the war, there was a surge of political consciousness through the Caribbean, forming its own government association. And then the Dominicans then also volunteered as well during World War II. And then after the World War II, Dominica was governed part of the British Windward Islands. Then eventually, after 2 decades, it became independent in 1978 as a republic led by Prime Minister Patrick John. After independence, there was mainly a lot of political stuff with some attempted coups and all that. But in the 1980s, the economy did recover quite a little bit, though weakening again due to banana prices. Then in 2015, Tropical Storm Erica devastated the island, causing severe damage. And then it was struck again in 2017 from Hurricane Maria, which suggested that 90% of the island buildings on the island were completely destroyed. And then in 2019, the most recent, and then finally Dominica won its 2 Commonwealth Games during 2018's Commonwealth Games. That wraps up on Dominica's history. Yep, we just left Antigua. We had just left Antigua on here. So that is Antigua's. That talks about all Dominica's history. We just left Antigua. So let's see. We have quite a few people. Well, we have quite a few people around the area. That should be a very smooth flying from here. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, guys. Man, the weekend's getting ready, so there is a couple things I do want to talk about. First off is our virtual airline, Firefly Air. We have just announced the next hub location for Firefly Air, and it's going to be in the Middle East, more specifically the Persian Gulf. And the hub choices are Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Bahrain, and Kuwait City. So that's going to be our hub choices. I did vote. I put Dubai number 1. It may be the most popular area by like the VAs, but Dubai already has handcrafted scenery for me, which means I don't have to pay for extra scenery. And more importantly, Dubai, there's just plenty of things to do in Dubai. Then I picked Doha second because Doha has a great freeware airport, which is great. Like I said, I don't need payware for Doha. I already got the freeware, so. Then third is Abu Dhabi, which I think Abu Dhabi may be many people's pick for the hub. Maybe Abu Dhabi just because it's not as busy as Dubai. Then fourth for me is Bahrain, and that's because I did visit Bahrain. It's a pretty cool island, and the airport has a rich history. It's just there isn't a lot of scenery stuff. And then the last for me was definitely Kuwait, because the major issue is for some reason I looked, there are no SIDS and star charts um for the airports in the base sim because I don't have Navigraph. But I felt that would put a lot of our Xbox pilots at disadvantage. And don't get me wrong, while the scenery is great, I think that issue really hurts Kuwait as a hub for our virtual airlines. So I didn't vote for it. So I made my voting. So though from what I can tell, I believe the top three is going to be Dubai, Doha, and in Abu Dhabi. I have a strong feeling it's going to be those three in the top three, which makes sense. All three areas are very popular in the regions, so I think that's what's going to end up getting picked by the virtual airline. Hey, Devil Dude, good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. I was just briefly going over the Firefly Air stuff. Um, yeah, I saw your vote for it as well. Oh, nice. Hey, Dougal. No worries. You're flying the Phoenix Innsbruck. Oh, that's always a good time. Yeah, I know your vote. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be one of those three, Devil Dude. It's gonna be either Dubai, Doha, or that. I mean, there's good reason to put those three. And to be fair, I could have easily put Abu Dhabi one or two. It's just for me, I already have the handcrafted Dubai airport, and I would like to not have to pay extra. But I guess if I wish I could just redo my voting to move Abu Dhabi at two, because I think Abu Dhabi has more potential than Doha has. Let's go on a little bit more of a sideshow then, because we might be approaching the island pretty good. One of the most fascinating things about Dominica is absolutely its geography. You see, Dominica itself is largely covered by rainforest, and it features some of the most rugged landscapes in the Caribbean that are unexplored. It's got lots of rainforest. It's one of the Earth's most rain-drenched lands, home to what rare species of wildlife, and got lots of beautiful tropical areas. In fact, according to a popular belief, it is the only New World territory that Columbus could still recognize. It's also the largest and most northerly of the Windward Islands, and it features a lot of tropical climate with moderate trade winds. And Dominica can get really warm year round. And of course, this area is also affected by hurricane. Um, but this area is absolutely gorgeous. If you ever seen some of the pictures and see some of the stuff, Dominica is an absolutely beautiful area. Definitely worth checking out. I'm here. In terms of government, Dominica is a republic. It's a parliamentary democracy, and it's a republic. It's one of the few republics in the Caribbean right now. Presidents have state, while the executive power rests on the cabinet, headed by the prime minister. Unicameral parliament consists of a 30-member House of Assembly with 21 direct elected members and 9 senators. But unlike former British colonies, it was never a Commonwealth realm. Instead, it became a republic on independence and a member of the Caribbean community. So, Dominica has it's a republic, one of the very few in this part of the Caribbean. Cool stuff. In terms of economy, Dominica's economy is in the East Caribbean dollar. In 2008, it had one of the lowest per capita GDPs. I mean, it had a financial crisis in 2003 and 4, but there was some growth, mainly with tourism growth, construction, and more. However, with a lot of the hurricane stuff, it can put a real damper to its potential economic growth. In recent years, it's become a major international financial center. Mainly offshore banking and payment processing companies operate out of Dominica. So there's that too. And then Dominica also has some tourism areas too. It's slowly more than other islands. However, it's great. However, its scenery makes it amazing ecotourism with its rainforest, mountains, lakes, and more. So definitely a very cool place to check out and visit here in the Caribbean. It's gonna take a little bit of. So to our right is Martinique. Now, of course, it's actually not Martinique. It's actually Guadeloupe. It's one of the overseas department of France. This archipelago. Yeah, it's one of the overseas department of France here in the Caribbean. It's an integral part of France, and like other parts, it's actually the main currency is the euro. Sorry, Guadeloupe is actually the island was named Santa Maria de Guadalupe after Our Lady Guadalupe in 1493. It was mainly very prosperous for sugar and mainly coffee, coca, and sugar were some of the big crops grown back in the day. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I do like one to get over these youngsters. So smooth to fly. Such a docile and such an easy plane to fly in and out of. I love flying. So of course, on our schedule, we will be back on. We'll be back on Sunday for a flight from St. Lucia. We'll make our way over first to Barbados and explore the island of Barbados. And then afterwards, for Barbados, we'll make our way over to the island of St. Vincent, explore that place a little bit, and then make our way from there. And then we'll explore some of the Grenadine Islands. We'll be checking them out as well, like Port Elizabeth, Pistique Island, and we'll go all the way down to Union Island Airport. Also, to let you guys know, Sunday's stream will also be the last around the world flight stream we'll be having for a couple weeks. We won't be back for 1, 2, 3 weeks. We won't be back until March 8th for the next installment of the series. So we're gonna be gone for. We'll be back in 3 weeks because I got a trip coming up. So yeah, we'll be gone for a little bit. But yeah, there is Guadalupe's mountainous terrain. Beautiful, Alan. So this is Guadalupe. It's absolutely gorgeous today. It was pretty when I went there a while back. Beautiful series. Wow. Scenery are super nice. Beautiful. Down now, where we're gonna fly over is going to be Porta Peter, Pointe Peter, which is the largest city on the island of Guadalupe, and the most important area. There's also Le Raizet Airport as well, which is the main airport connecting to Guadalupe. It's beautiful, man. The views from here are gorgeous. And there is Dominica right in the distance. So let's go ahead and cover more about Dominica while we're here. Dominica's culture is a mix between African, Kalingo, French, and British influences. Dominica was occupied by the Arawaks and the Carib tribes before the Europeans came. A major facets of Dominican culture include music and dance. Their annual independence celebration display a variety of traditional songs and dance. There's also been several weeks of Creole festivals since 1997, including the World Creole Music Festival. Dominica once gained importance in the international music stage when in 1973 Gordon Henderson founded the group Exile One in an original music genre called Candid Calypso and paved the way for modern Creole music. Other genres include jimping and cadence. Jimping features the accordion and is native to the island. There's also the novelist John Reese, who was born and raised in Dominica and is featured in her best-known book, The Wide Sargasso Sea. And finally, the Walt Disney film Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest was actually shot on location here in Dominica, along with Shamsuddin in its third film, Port's End. So it's actually been used as a film location before. Dominica's cuisine is very similar to other islands in the Caribbean, particularly Jamaica, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Like other Commonwealth islands, they've developed their own twist in their cuisine. So one of the more important things for Dominica's cuisine is a typical meal for breakfast includes saltfish, dried and salted codfish, and bakes, which is fried dough. And saltfish and bakes are a fast food and can be eaten throughout the day. Common vegetables include plantains, panis, which is a root vegetable, sweet potatoes, rice, and peas. Meat and poultry include chicken, beef, and fish, and proper meals include rice and peas, ground stewed chicken, stewed beef, fried and stewed fish, and many types of soups and broths. And finally, in sports, Dominica cricket's a popular sport, and they're part of the West Indies cricket team. There's currently an 8,000 seat cricket stadium in Windsor, which is around 8,000 seats. Other sports like netball, basketball, rugby, tennis, and associated football have gained popularity in the island. So that wraps up sports here in Dominica. So here's some fun facts about Dominica. The island has 9 volcanoes, and one of those is Mount Diablotins, which is the highest point in the island. It's absolutely gorgeous. In Rosio, there's lots of black sand beaches due to the sulfur, thanks to some of the sulfur from the volcanoes. And you can check out Sulphur Springs as well. Of course, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Ships was filmed here, and whale watching is a very popular spectator sport because whales do like to come to Dominica. So, beautiful, beautiful areas worth checking out. And of course, here's some landmarks and sites to see here on the island of Dominica. They include Mont Trois Pitons National Park, which is the highlights of a 17,000 acre UNESCO World Heritage Sites featuring beautiful lakes, including the world's second largest hot boiling lake, and the Mistrata Brewery Lake, and many picturesque falls, including Victoria Waterfall, Trafalgar Falls, Emerald Pool, and Middlehead Falls. And then in the northwest, there's Cabreets National Park with lush rainforest, swampland, black sand beaches, and more. But there's also an old Fort Shirley, which was an 18th century British garrison with beautiful views of the Prince Rupert Bay. And how cool is that to check that out for here as well? And then finally, let's go ahead and talk about the airport we'll be flying here today. This is Douglas Charles Airport. It is actually one of the two airports in the on the island. The other one is the smaller Canefield Airport, which is mainly used for general aviation. Melville Hall is the main commercial airport. It was the main site of it since 1944. It opened back in 1961, served by Douglas DC Freeze, and eventually it even did turboprop services in the late 70s. And the first jet service to operate here was during the 1990s. The airport was expanded back in the 2000s, and it was renamed in 2017 after Prime Ministers Rosie Douglas and Pierre Charles. And of course, commercial jetline service. Nowadays, there's some jet services include American Eagle to Miami, as well as jet services through to San Juan, Santo Domingo, Caracas, Curacao, Paramaribo, and throughout the Caribbean. And there have been some airliners that visited here too, like an A320neo from Avionica with medical supplies, and it was the largest airline to ever land here was an A320neo, as well as some planes like a charter soccer team charter from Canadian North, a Danish MD-80, as well as a Boeing C-17 Globemaster. But yeah, the thing about this airport is that it only has one runway, which is 5,700-foot runway, and that's because with rising terrain, and it's only authorized for visual approaches, and landings at night are forbidden. And also you cannot depart from runway 27. So you can only approach from runway 27 and depart from 09. So pretty cool stuff. And lastly, the capital city is Roseau. The capital and largest city in all of Dominica. With the population of 16,000 people, it was built on the site of the ancient Caribs village. And it's the oldest and most important urban settlement on the island. It's the main port for foreign trade, including exports for bananas, bay oil, vegetables, grapefruit, oranges, and coca. And there's definitely some really cool areas as well. There's some really cool architecture. Well, they got some old, so definitely some pretty cool stuff. So that wraps up all the stuff for Dominica. So once we land here, we'll get started with then once we explore the island of Dominica, we'll be checking out St. Lucia. So yeah, yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying the notes. And I hope you guys come away with learning something. If you guys are liking the content, if you haven't followed yet and you're liking the content, smash that follow button. It'd be a great way to continue supporting the channel. Here, I stream 3 days a week here on Twitch on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So, but yeah, great to have every one of you guys here for another stream. So, great to have you guys here in the place. But yeah, it's great to be back in this Yonkers. Yeah, this area here is absolutely gorgeous. Is Dominica. Now, I will be visiting here next year, by the way. Just gorgeous, man. This is... So yeah, we will also be exploring the national park. We'll be exploring throughout much of the island, and we are definitely going to explore the national park. We will be flying over Boiling Lake here as well. So we will be exploring some of the natural beauty in Dominica. It should be an absolute beautiful second lane. So I want to ask you guys in the chat. I hope you guys have any really cool plans for the weekend and all that. I hope you guys have some really cool plans for the weekend. For the weekend, for me, is I'm going to continue working on stuff. I will be preparing to pack a few things, like take out a few of my clothes for the trip coming next Friday. So we're going to go ahead and prepare for that. Look at the scenery, guys. Look at this. Look at them, guys. That. Just beautiful, guys. I mean, absolutely breathtaking. Scenery here today. So here's Melville Hall Airport right here. That's a very scenic airport, guys. Very scenic. So according to my nav map, most of the approaches are all in 2.7. There are definitely some pretty cool little approaches. But yeah, they mainly do RNAV approaches. Hmm. Here we go, guys. The first lane for today. That beautiful Dominica. Beautiful scenery, guys, today. I mean, this is just breathtaking scenery here in Dominica. Really smooth. -1 over here. It says here on that map, -2 FPM according to landing rate monitor. Um, that's what I call a smooth landing. That was butter. Yeah, guys, welcome to beautiful Douglas Charles Airport, everyone. That was a beautiful landing. Absolutely stunning. It's incredible flying here. I'll briefly stop over here for just a bit, and then we'll get ready for the second and last leg of the trip. So if you guys want to join on in, this is a group flight, by the way. Let's not forget, this is indeed a group flight. It's on the description. I'm on the Southeast Asian server, and take something that can keep up with this Junkers. I'm going to try and go at 130, 140 knots. So while we wait on people coming in, I'm going to look at some of the, I looked at some of the excursions for this island. According to Princess Cruises, which is the cruise I'm going to be going on to next year, here I found some pretty cool excursions. There is a Best of Dominica featuring Emerald Pools, Trafalgar Falls, and a scenic drive through the island. There's one that learns about the Caribbean culinary stuff, and you learn about all the culinary food, cooking and stuff. You go through the rainforest, and you do some cooking with Dominican culture. That's pretty cool. They got a hot springs trip to the hot springs, as well as swimming the Tito Gorge. 4x4 safari. They got a whale watching trip, which is pretty cool if you like to do whale watching. If you like whale watching, you can do that. They got river tubing stuff, snorkeling. They got all sorts of stuff we're visiting on the island of Dominica. So, some really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and get ready for the second and last leg of the trip. Our altitude today will be, for this leg, be 4,500 feet. That's because we're going to try and clear over most of the parts of the islands. So we will depart on runway 09, and we'll just fly there and fly over the island. So beautiful stuff here today. I do appreciate all you guys being here today on this stream. It's great to have you guys here, and not just the people in chat, but all the lurkers. Thank you all for coming here today and accompany me on this incredible flight. Got some pretty big stuff planned for the next couple weeks. So yeah, I honestly cannot wait for my vacation. I am very excited. I'll talk more about my vacation on Wednesday. On Wednesday's stream, I think I planned it's going to be from Las Vegas over to Long Beach in the 737 cargo, in the 737-800, which I haven't flown, and then from there, or actually instead, I think Wednesday's stream is going to be with the 737. We're going to go from Cabo San Lucas. We're going to make our way first to yeah, we're gonna go. Actually, I'm even thinking about just taking the DC-6 again, fly from Puerto Vallarta to Mazatlan, and then Mazatlan over to Cabo. I think that would be pretty good. That would be for Wednesday probably, because the hub won't even be announced until. Maybe I'll take the DC-6 out again on Wednesday. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking the DC-6 out again. It's a great plane, and I definitely need to have more experience with the DC-6. Oh. And exploring out. But this is weird though. The Younkers shouldn't be flying this fast though. 148 like is the max speed, not the main cruise. Let's go take some pictures of some of the scenery here. Absolutely gorgeous scenery today. Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous scenery today, guys. This is pretty. The scenery here in Dominica is absolutely. Like I said, it's a piece of the tropical rainforest here in the Caribbean. Like I said, the Caribbean World Entity is awesome because it covers an area that really needed some. So I think for the next couple streams planned, I think next Wednesday is going to be DC-6 in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan. I'm probably going to do some flying. I guess maybe next Wednesday 737 over to LAX, not LAX but Long Beach. Maybe do something to Long Beach. And then, of course, and I guess the Wednesday to come back would probably be doing the DC-6 over Cabo, from Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, and Cabo. Which would probably be what I'm going to do. Just trying to make sure I get my streams out that way. Yeah, here's all the different sceneries. So there's Spanny Falls. This is incredible. This is amazing. This is incredible. This is going to be the national park. Um, Here, this is Mortroin Pitons National Park here in Dominica. It's pretty. Stunning. And then, but yeah, the sim stuff like this, like sometimes the data here isn't great, and that's because, like I said, it's very densely covered in rainforest. So it's kind of hard to get good data, but the scenery is. And down below us is going to be the capital city and largest city here. I mean, this is definitely an island I'm very, very excited to visit. This is definitely the most exciting new island I really want to visit on my next year's trip. Just because, like I said, it's got beautiful scenery, beautiful landscape. This is Roseau. Okay. So as this gets resettled, I'm gonna go, hey, good to see you, King Cobra. Oh, never mind. Dead jokes. No worries, Cobra. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. We're actually here. We're gonna head our way over to the next island. Beautiful St. Lucia is gonna be our next destination here today. So St. Lucia, what do you want to know about? So St. Lucia is located in the West Indies. It's actually its capital largest city is Castries, population of 880,000 people. Um, One of the really cool things about it is because the island has switched control so many times between the French and British, it was actually nicknamed the Helen of the West, named after the Greek mythological character Helen of Troy. But here's some interesting history about this place. The first inhabitants of St. Lucia were the Arawaks, and then the Caribs arrived and seized control of them around 800 AD. It was possible that Christopher Columbus might have sighted the island during his fourth voyage in 1502. However, the first people to really explore this island was in the late 1500s. In 1605, an English vessel called the Ulf Blossom was blown on course on its way to Guyana, and the 67 colonists started a new settlement on St. Lucia. Only 19 survived and continues to tracks by the Caribbean chief. Eventually, the French first claimed the island in 1650. After several attempts, the French would become the first ones to control it successfully. However, afterwards, the English tried to reclaim it for England, and it caused a lot of shifts between the English and the British and French. And as a result, the island changed ownership, no joke, a dozen times. Eventually, the last bit of control was the Treaty of Paris. The British handed it back to the French, and then it was occupied again multiple times between the 1780s and 1803. It swapped over many times. Eventually, though, the last time this island gained control of it was in 1814. For the last time, it was part of it, and after the Treaty of Paris, St. Lucia now became a British colony. Technically, this will be the last time the island has its witch hands again. During the 20th century, the first representative government was introduced in 1924, and the first election in 1925. Many St. Lucians served during the Second World War, and the conflict even visited the island during the Battle of the Caribbean, when a German U-boat sank two British ships in the harbor of Castries. After the war, and after many decades, St. Lucia became independent in 1979 under Sir John Compton. And then, despite leading the country to independence, Compton's original initial term lasted only a few months. And then during the 90s and 2000s, the nation economy shifted away from agriculture to tourism. And right now, the current prime minister is Philippe J. Pierre, who has become its ninth prime minister since independence. So, pretty important stuff for St. Lucia's history. Take a second break to have everything sorted. All right. So the next island we sighted on our journey is going to be Martinique. This is another island I will be visiting as well in real life. I will be visiting the island of Martinique also as well. It's known as the Island of Flowers in the Pearl of the Antilles. Beautiful little island. It's got a pretty cool history as well. Pretty cool stuff. According to my my vacation thing, Princess Cruises, which again I will be going over with them on my trip. Some of the things you could do on Martinique include the Mountain St. Pierre, Panoramic Drive, a botanical garden, historic plantations, the History's Plantation, a 4x4 adventure, walking tour, catamaran cruise, and snorkeling were some of the things you could do here as well. So pretty cool stuff here in Little Martinique. I will be checking that island out. Unfortunately, though, my itinerary does not take me to St. Lucia, sadly. Um, so, pretty cool stuff. So, of course, after the Caribbean, after we visit the Caribbean, the last of the Caribbeans on not Friday, but not next Friday, but the Friday we get back will be the last stream here in the Caribbean, which is to Trinidad and Tobago afterwards. We will be using the airliners quite a bit more often since there is some of these countries are getting really big in South America, particularly Brazil. Obviously, Brazil is massive. And I'll definitely be needing to use the airliners to Brazil mainly. I was thinking about probably some ideas for future stream ideas would be probably be after I get done with Suriname, do an airliner trip over to Santarém, and then do a little stream over the Amazon rainforest to Manaus. And do a stream over the Amazon rainforest and talk about the Amazon for a bit. And then make our way over to Brasilia, Rio de Janeiro, fly to Sao Paulo, then make our way over to Asunción, then make a trip over to Uruguay, and then go to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Then I definitely want to go visit the end of the world at Ushuaia. That's mainly going to be my main plans for this series coming forward. But I really wanted to do some more of the airliner stuff to speed things up a bit. I don't want to take forever. I want to get there. The scenery here is absolutely gorgeous. I'm glad I took the right plane for today's stream for sure. The Junkers, I mean, was a perfect plane to take for today. That's Okay, they both use the same number of fuel tanks. 70%, that's perfect. But yeah, definitely like to do some sort of stuff. So, about the virtual airline stuff, after the Middle East, I mean, where else do we want to go? I mean, there's still the Caribbean and Central America. There's still a potential hub for those two regions, for each of those two regions. Then we have it's Southeast Asia because I mean those two definitely could use a hub, particularly Southeast Asia. I mean, there's so many great choices for those two regions. Northern Europe, like the Baltics, Eastern Europe, Northern and Eastern Europe, like the Baltics, the Nordic countries, and I know we already have a Western hub in Zurich, but it'd be great to have a hub more in the eastern half that can get some of the Baltics, Northern Europe, or even a little bit of Russia too, like European Russia, like St. Petersburg or Moscow, would be pretty cool. And then afterwards, after those two, we just have Africa left to go: North, West, East, and South Africa. Those are the four main regions up here as well. So I mean, that's the only part of hubs we don't really have yet. And that'll complete what we need to do. So that's just me. Scenery is just gorgeous, and yeah, I do love flying this young. Man, she's so nice to fly. And the scenery is just gorgeous today. Holy crap! Oh, oh my gosh, the scenery today. Oh my gosh, the scenery is gorgeous. Holy crap! Yeah, imagine this. We get to fly to the two of the most beautiful islands in the Caribbean today. I mean, you guys wouldn't expect this, but St. Lucia and Dominica are considered by many to be two of the most beautiful islands in the entire Caribbean. Rightfully so. Absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, Martinique's also stunning as well. Martinique's also so absolutely gorgeous. Now, St. Pierre used to be the capital of the Martinique, by the way, until an earthquake happened and they moved it from St. Pierre over to Port-de-France. Absolutely gorgeous. Scenery here is absolutely top notch. Absolutely. So yeah, guys, I'll let you guys know this. After Sunday's stream, I'll actually let you guys know when we get the next set of the Around the World trip streams for the next 7 days, which is days 15 through 21, I believe. But it will mainly start in South America, But I think it'll start from Trinidad and Tobago, fly over to Maracaibo, and we'll go over to Barquisimeto, Valencia, and Caracas. Then from there, we do flight over to Georgetown, um, and make an approach over to there as well. Then do a GA flight visiting Georgetown, then visiting the coast to Suriname and Paramaribo, and then from there would be like to Santorini, go over through the Amazon rainforest to Manaus, then go like to Brasilia, make your way over to Rio de Janeiro. But that would be like the main things I do want to talk on this. Really wanted to get, like I said, I want to speed things up a little bit. Like I'll do GA when it's needed to be. Like for example, the Caribbean is definitely something for general aviation because a lot of these islands are small. So let's go over and talk a little bit more about St. Lucia for a bit. Let's talk some more information about it. So St. Lucia's geography is St. Lucia, very similar to Dominica, is a very mountainous area. Of course, its most famous landmark are the Pitons in St. Lucia. They're some of the most beautiful and most scenic areas. There's also the world's only driving volcano at Sulphur Springs, which you can drive over. There's also it's also got a tropical rainforest climate, though not as much as Dominica's climate is. But year-round, it's going to be mainly 82 degrees year-round, which is pretty cool. Absolutely beautiful scenery. St. Lucia is absolutely beautiful, and we will be flying over the Pitons on today's stream. So it wasn't in the original flight plan when I first made it, but I decided to re-alter it so we can actually fly over all of St. Lucia in one stream. Here is Port-de-France in Martinique. Martinique. Go over on the rest of the streams. So here's the rest of the stuff we'll cover. So in terms of governments, like most Caribbean countries, it is a parliamentary system. It's part of the Commonwealth realm and a constitutional monarchy, with the current monarch being Charles III. The Prime Minister is the head of government, head of cabinet, and nominally the leader of the largest party in the House. It has 17 seats, with each member elected through plurality of votes. There's an upper chamber, the Senate has 11 members, and the lowest house has 17. Nowadays, St. Lucia is a developing state due to St. Lucia's island sector. The largest sector by far is the service sector, which is over 86% of the economy, followed by industrial and agricultural sectors, and is able to attract lots of foreign business and investment due to its educated workforce, improvements with roads, communication, water supply, sewage, and port facilities. The main source of revenue is mainly tourism and offshore banking. Tourism is a huge deal in St. Lucia. And there's tons of places for tourists to like visiting the area, including there are many beaches, but some are in black sand. It's got a rich, unique culture, and of course, there's tons of natural sceneries like Sulphur Springs, St. Lucia Botanical Gardens, and more. But great area for lots of people to visit. In terms of culture, in terms of all that, it's actually it's developed a pretty unique culture based off of African, East Asian, French, and English heritage. Secondary language is Creole, which is spoken by most of the population. It boasts, you wouldn't believe this, but St. Lucia boasts the highest ratio of Nobel literates produced with total respect to population of any sovereign nation. There's actually 2 Nobel Prize winners from here. Sir Arthur Lewis, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 1979, and the poet Derek Walcott in 1992 for literature. Yes, it's hard to believe that's actually the case. They also have 2 flower festivals as well every summer to celebrate the country's culture and music. So St. Lucia definitely has a pretty cool culture. Um, so here are some fun facts about St. Lucia. St. Lucia is only just 230 square miles large, 27 miles long, and 14 wide. It's home to a very unique bird, the St. Lucia parrot or jackpot, which cannot be found anywhere else in the world and is the national bird of St. Lucia. Uh, St. Lucia attracts around 350,000 tourists per year and has a booming fishing industry. The motto is the land, the people, the light. And it was originally named the island of iguanas by the early Carib settlers, though it was changed later on to St. Lucia. And fun fact, St. Lucia, her name St. Lucia was actually the first sovereign. It's one of only 2 sovereign states in the world to be named after a woman. The other sovereign state that's actually named after a woman is, you wouldn't believe this, it's Ireland actually. Though it's the only one named after a human woman, whereas Ireland's named after a goddess. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that, but it's true. St. Lucia's very unique in that sense. So, very, very cool. A lot of people don't know. So, pretty cool stuff, guys. Here's some places to visit while in St. Lucia. There are some really great ones. The first and most obvious is, of course, the Pitons. They're a UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way. A lot of people don't know. Um, they have the twin towering peaks and are the primary features of this island, and they soar obviously to great heights. And you get some absolutely photogenic screenshots. Um, Absolutely incredible. We will be checking them out here once we get our way to St. Lucia. Um, the second place to visit is Marigot Bay, with lush hillsides plunging to the pre-Palm Film Beach. It is also the setting for the 1967 film Dr. Dolittle, which has a claim to fame that's left a permanent mark on the names of some of the local establishments. In Sulphur Springs, the world's only drive-in volcano. Want to make it an extremely unique area to check out while here in St. Lucia. So, definitely a very, very cool landmark here on the island. So, very, very cool. Go over the last 2 slides and we'll be done with the slides for today's stream. The first is the capital and largest city on the island, Castries. Population 20,000 people, but the metropolitan district is around 70,000 people. It was built on a floodplain and it is on a floodplain and built on reclaimed land. It has to see government and offices for many foreign and local businesses, featuring house-free, duty-free shipping facilities. with its sheltered harbor harboring many cargo vessels and cruise ships. It was the birthplace of both Arthur Lewis and Derek Walcott, both Nobel Prize winners. The city was first founded in 1650 as Carnage, but it was renamed 1756 by the British. This place was well known when the Germans attacked the ocean liner RMS Lady Nelson. At night on March 9th, 1942. It's a port call for cruise ships, and they docked in the north side of the harbor. But it's an absolutely beautiful city. And finally, the last slide for today's streams. This is the main airport we're going to be landing out here today. This is Tijuana International, Tango Lima, Papa Lima. It's the main airport for international flights. The Castries has its own airport, mainly for turboprop and inter-Caribbean trips. But this is the main one we're going to be visiting at the end of the island. It was founded in 1941 as Bean Army Airfield and Bean Air Force Base, and it lasted until 1949. Then it was turned into a commercial airport starting in the 50s. Featuring lots of jet services to places across the Caribbean, as well as flights to New York and all that. This airport's quite big at a 9,000-foot runway, and it features flights and destinations to Toronto, Miami, Charlotte, Philadelphia, Georgetown, London, New York, Boston, and Newark. But yeah, it can accommodate planes as big as a 777, which is pretty big. Oh, here it is, guys. That is St. Lucia we see here in the distance. Is the incredible St. Lucia. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's slides. That's it for today's slides here in the stream. I hope you guys learned something today, as we're gonna get ready to fly over St. Lucia. I think you guys are going to love this area. Quite a lot. St. Lucia's also got quite a few hotels, and it's a pretty pricey hotels in that. Which makes sense. St. Lucia's can be a very popular resort area. So now there's definitely some cool. Now, for St. Lucia, for the Princess, according to them, some of their excursions include Sulphur Springs, the Pitons, which is about 7 hour. Plus, into the Pitons, they got some whale watching, snorkeling, safari drive. Well, guys, we are finally in St. Lucia. Um, Absolutely stunning. Beautiful area. I hope you guys enjoy the stream, and if you're all you guys working, I think you should be glad to stay here, because, guys, you got some absolutely awesome Caribbean islands. Like I said, the Caribbean may have many, maybe they may not have the greatest land area, but man, the Caribbean packs the most scenery per land area I can think of. Stunning. So this is Castries. There's the little turboprop airport here at George F. Charles. This is mainly for your turboprop services. Not for the jets, though, but it's for the props. Like I said, I would like to have I hope the Caribbean hub ends up being a bonus, because, like I said, it'd be a great place to put the bonus hub. Just in time for the update. The view is insane. What an awesome, awesome flight, guys. This is just pretty. Oh my gosh. This is stunning, guys. Like, people aren't kidding about the beauty of St. Lucia. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and fly from the capital. So guys, if you want to do any last lane predictions, let's do the last lane predictions for the stream for a bit. Type in a negative number and we'll get ready to get going. But of course, our next destination is going to be at the Pitons. Of course, we're going to take pictures of that. That's the main landmark of St. Lucia. And look what we see here, guys. The Pitons. Oh, that's pretty, guys. Oh, that is pretty. Pretty pretty. Yeah, the only cruises that go, I think, to St. Lucia on Princess is either some of the 10-day trips from Martinique. No, I think I am going to Martinique. No, I'm not going to Martinique. Not on the 20. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to Martinique. So yeah, the only cruises I think are some of the 10-day trips are on the Southern Caribbean. And then there is also a 14-day Circle Caribbean trip, which also goes to Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad, Tobago, and Curacao. Wow, that's gorgeous. Look at the pitons here. That is gorgeous, guys. Holy. Yes. Wait until I get. perfect shape. Gombo. So there's the pitons right here. That is the main landmark here on the island of St. Lucia. We're going to go ahead and turn and prepare for our arrival to Kiwanora International here in St. Lucia. And here is the sightseeing of the pitons. Just gorgeous, guys. Hey, Ricky McCarr, long time no see, Ricky. Good to see you, my dude. It has been a long time, my friend. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Good to see you, Ricky. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing all right. Yes, I will be going to some of the Caribbean stuff next year. I'm mainly going to be visiting Antigua, Martinique, and Dominica next year. These are some new places. We're checking St. Lucia right now. Absolutely. I wish I could have gone there next year. I wish I could have spent a day there because I would have loved to check out the island. But yeah, this area is absolutely gorgeous. Some of the finest area in the Caribbean I could think of. It's super pretty. So I think MSF's official is going to come on very soon. I think MS official is going to come on very, very shortly. So once we land here, if it comes on in time, we're going to rate MSF's official. Not only because it's MSF's official, but also because it is Two-Toe Murphy. And if you guys know anything about me, I'm one of his most important members of his community. That's how I got to flight simming in the first place. But yeah, St. Lucia, absolutely gorgeous island. But we're gonna go ahead and make a landing here. But yeah, those trips do sound amazing. They're going to be amazing. I can't wait to go on these trips. Because like I said, I really, really like to explore the world. And that's what the great thing about this around the world trip is going to be. We're going to explore every single country, Ricky. We started this back on New Year's Eve in 2023, and we went all the way down first to Florida, then explored we explored the Bahamas, then Cuba, then a little bit of Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, then to St. Kitts Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda. Then now we're here in flying over Dominica and St. Lucia. We're checking out every sovereign country. So that's what we're doing, and we're going to visit every single one in the world. Some of legs are going to be in general aviation. Others are going to be in the airliners, which are mainly going to be in the big, massive countries. Brazil, China, some of the United States is going to be mainly with it as well. But we're going to have some absolutely amazing stuff. But yeah, I'm going to bring a well mix of general aviation stuff. That way, I want to keep the series at a reasonable pace. Here we go. Here is the landing, guys. The final landing of the stream. And got, oh my gosh, negative 56, another butter smooth land. Negative 23 landing on this one according to land rate monitor. Absolutely awesome landing here. I'm gonna go ahead and find the next taxi, and we can park here at the airport. If this looks like this man, like a dream, it is. Dream come true. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pictures up like this. And we can get done with the stream. Guys, that was an awesome flight today, everyone. Beautiful stream here in the Yonkers. And that is day 12. So we're almost done with the Caribbean. We still got 2 remaining streams in the Caribbean before we move on to the next region, South America, which I'm very, very excited to get completed on that. So, guys, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys have an amazing start to the weekend as we prepare to raid MSFS Official and say hello to not only CDL and the team, but also to Tom Murphy. So guys, we'll be back here on Sunday as we complete Barbados and St. Vincent in the Grenadines. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.